Hey, I'm Tryg Koch, co-owner of Heritage Custom Farming with Lee Buller here in the Flathead County of Montana. And what I'd like to do today is share my AgriGro story with you guys, with all you producers out there. And, it all started about 17 years ago. I'm a first-generation farmer. I had a friend talk me into starting a custom farming operation in Flathead County, and I had no idea what that even meant. I grew up on a dairy farm. Not on one, but working on one, helping the neighbors. And so I had an opportunity to start essentially, my own farm. And so in 17 years ago, Lee Buller and I partnered up and started Heritage Custom Farming, and we're 100% leased. We own no land. And so that makes it another challenge for us in the agriculture. We have a lot of different types of ground, types of soil, very little irrigation. And there's 70 landlords that we have to deal with on 2,500 acres. So things need to work, and they need to work right away. Otherwise, I can't be using it. This field that I'm sitting in right now, it will literally be turned into a subdivision, businesses here in the near future. And so things for us have to work. And that's where A.B. Gardner, my agronomist, was able to meet with Ross and bring AgriGro to our attention. We sat in a little meeting here with about 6 or 7 growers, and I listened to the presentation, and in my mindset, what Ross had to say just made sense. And I have an agronomist. I had an agronomist. He's great. We transitioned to Amy. Now she's our agronomist. And we are fertilizer people. We were insecticide people. We were fungicide growers. I mean, that's what we did. More fertilizer, more fungicides, because that's all we knew then, right? And so with an open mindset, we then transitioned to, hey, look, I think there could be a better way. How can we make ourselves more profitable? We were trying to be not the bushel kings of the valley, but in our own mindset, how many bushels can we grow? Right? And I think as farmers and producers, we want to grow a lot of bushels, right? We want to be able to do that. But with Amy's help and Ross's help, it's helped us change our focus to where, hey, look, maybe it's not about all the bushels you grow. You need to grow profitable ones so that you're here to farm again another day. And that's where we shifted. We shifted to, we take soil samples, everything we do, right? And then we programmed our fields per field level. Right? Not just a blanket fertilizer program for our entire farm, because not all of it was the same, right? We had some fields that are sub-irrigated, some that are heavy clay, some that are pure sand that you would build your kid a sandbox out of, right? I mean, those are the differences that we farm. And so, Lee and I decided that, hey, look, this AgriGro stuff makes sense. Let's try it. And so the whole point of it was Amy was on board with us, right? And that's what is so important for me, is to have my agronomist or our agronomist on our side, right? They need to be on our side. They need to be sitting here with objective mindset of helping us use the right products. Do they work? Don't they work? Do we test them? How do we test them? How do we test them correctly? And with Ross's help, we were able to design tests. And right out of the gate, like Ross had told us, we would see increased root development, root mass, faster germination. And those are some of the very first things in our very first trials 10 years ago that we actually witnessed. And Amy captured that, right? And we fast forward to 10 years from now. I mean, we have collected all the data from, side-by-side trial comparisons and yield. We no longer use seed treat now at all with the AgriGro program. Fungicides, man, we were fungicide gurus. Like, we would just put a fungicide on everything, because that's, in my mindset, was what we needed to do. I need to take care of the crop. I didn't realize that if we focused on the soil and the plant health, that actual plant health can help mitigate disease pressure, insect pressure, right? I had no idea. Nobody had ever taught me that before. And so when we started doing these trials, it wasn't just yield, right? Yield is one part of this, just one. Not all of it, it's one part. And we have now been able to decrease our fertilizer use. Depends on the soil sample per field. It's not every field is exactly the same, but we've lowered our use of P and K about 20%. We've taken our nitrogen down about 13%, right? Based on our fields and based off of soil samples. No more seed treats. We just either use Ignite S4 right in row or Seed Max or Ignite S2, and we plant it. Right? It's pretty nice to crawl in your truck and not have the pink stuff all over you. It's just a real benefit to our farm, and then not making those extra fungicide trips. Man, I'm telling you, we would go over them. Our winter wheat, we have striped rust that shows up in the valley a lot of years. I was just out there rolling through them. And I'm not saying that I would never need to not do that again, right? But it's allowed us to change our focus and focus on, hey, look, let's be proactive, right? And let's let the plant fight things off. Let's give that plant every possible chance to help itself cure itself, right? From a disease or a pathogen that shows up. Now, if something were to show up, if we had a bad striped rust outbreak, by God, you better believe I'm going to go spray it, right? I don't want to sit here and not take care of my crop. And that's what we have done is on our farm. We were conventional farmers. We tilled everything, right? Everything was tilled 3-4 times. You know, if there was a piece of straw out there, oh my gosh, we better work it again, because that's what we knew. Nobody had taught us any different. Now focusing on soil health, we're now no-till. I mean, like I say, this field of lentils right here, we had never raised lentils because they're kind of a pain. You can ask Amy, our agronomist, or even Lee and I talk about it. It's like, man, these things only grow 10 inches tall. How do you ever get them combined? You know, they're weedy. But it's a whole program that we're using in soil health, crop rotations, fixing nitrogen. It's a whole new system to us that we had the mindset to change. And that was probably the hardest thing, because we still get that from other farmers. Like, you can't no-till, that doesn't work. You need more fertilizer. Do we? I mean, we're doing the same on less. And I feel that's key. You know, in these drought years that we've had, you know, the no-till fields have held in for us better than our conventional fields, and that's because it's just soil health. We're maintaining moisture. You know, we've noticed in our fields now too. You know, our moisture probes will go down farther into the soil profile. Before, when we were conventional, you know, you'd get a big rain, you'd look out across the field and you'd see puddles out there, right? And we just thought that was normal, right? Oh yeah, it's just normal. We got a lot of rain. Well, we come to find out that's not normal. You know, we need that water to infiltrate the soil profile, get down into the soil so that the crop can use it, right? And by changing our thought process, looking at this, how can we be more profitable? How can I drive over the field less? How can we use less product, right? What will that do for us? And we were forced to do that. I mean, our banker, we have operating lines. Our banker came in and said, look, you guys can't keep going down the same path you're going down because you're on a fence line and you could blow off either side. So you have to change how you're farming and what you're doing. And this was the avenue that we took, and we haven't looked back since. You know, it's been great. I'm not saying it's always perfect. Like right now we're trying to combine and it's raining every 2 or 3 days. But the crop is here, you know, so we just need to go get it. You know, so I mean, my biggest thing to producers out there is, you know, you really do have to have an open mindset. It's different. It makes you think differently. You're gonna probably get some flack, you know, from neighbors. Oh my gosh, what are you doing? What are you doing that for? You know, and that's okay, right? You just have to be willing to say, you know what? I've done my research. I've talked to people that are doing this. I've watched my neighbor across the fence, and it seems to be working. And, you know, we deal with so many growers now, and the stories over time transition to most of them are all the same. Like, holy cow, less bugs, less disease. I'm getting the same yield. I'm getting 5 to 7 bushels more. And we've seen the same thing. But I get frustrated when all we focus on is more bushels. Well, I didn't see anything from the combine. Well, you can see we're in the combine now. I got yield monitors. They're a great tool, right? But you got to weigh things out. You got to scale them out so that you know for sure that what you're doing is working. And I guess that's what I want to leave you guys with is, test it. Believe, we're here to help you guys. This is our story from Flathead County, and this stuff works. Soil health is such a key component to agriculture that you need to trust in some of these systems and do your own research, do your own testing, because once you test and once you do it, you'll understand that, holy cow, this is the way of farming. This is the future that we look forward to. And the last thing I'll leave you with here too, before I go, is, being running through the officer team of the Montana Grain Growers Association. I got to go to a lot of conferences and listen to a lot of different folks talk, from policy to soil health to new products all across the United States. And one thing is everybody talks about soil health. There's a lot of products out there, but the thing that really is unique with AgriGro and what we're doing is we can just dump it in and go. We're not dealing with a live probiotic that you have to be very careful with, right? And that was the biggest thing that when I'm talking to growers, and we did this ourselves, it's like, holy cow, I can dump this in with my Roundup, pre-plant and go. I can put this in with my herbicide and go. And so when I'm out there visiting and learning, this is the one thing that really stands out is its usability. It just mixes very well with everything. There's good probiotics out there. Man, if you're not using something, do something, right? Something's better than nothing. But this is one of the things that we have found for our operation that has brought it back to a profitable state. Are we raising the most bushels out of everybody in the valley? Probably not. But do I care? I don't. Because all I care about at the end of the day is that we've made money. That's all that matters, right? At the end of the day, we are here to be able to farm again next year. Hey, I'm back. I got one more thing for you. So I forgot to mention that everybody always tells us here in Flathead, you guys grow more by mistake than we do by trying over here, right? Because you get rain. Well, we now have a farm. My wife and I are buying my uncle's farm. They're in North and Liberty County. And they put the dry land up there. And it is dry land farming. And we're proving the concept of AgriGro up there also. We've got 3 years of trials. We don't have the results back from this year. But so far, the 2 trials we have ran up there are just in par as what we're seeing over here. And that's 2 different geographical locations. This is Flathead, where it's cooler, we get more rain, versus, Canada basically, and it's working there as well. And so point being, different geographic locations, and we're getting the same results.